Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Hello, Mr. Szendrey.
Hey, how are you, sir?
Oh, just fine, just fine. Thank you for coming here today. I've heard a lot about you, that you're a good, honorable, honest man, so hopefully this deposition should go fast, and I don't expect it to be very long at all, and I don't expect it to be any real teeth pulling here.
Okay.
For the record, can you state your name and occupation?
Yeah, it's Detective James Szendrey. I am a detective currently assigned to the body-worn camera unit.
Okay. And have you been deposed before, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, before we start, I just want to give you a few quick, simple instructions. If you don't hear or understand any of my questions, please ask me to repeat it, and I'll be happy to do so. Please do not answer a question you don't understand, and please allow me to finish my question before you answer. Again, I expect this to be a really quick deposition, but if you need to take a break at any time, please let me know, and we can pause the deposition. Do you understand these instructions, sir?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Let's go ahead and begin. What is your educational background?
High school graduate and graduated from Miami-Dade Community College, the School of Justice.
And what, do you have any certifications?
Many. What are you talking about exactly?
I'm assuming you have a law enforcement certification in the state of Florida.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. That's basically, that's all I was getting at. Any other certifications I'm not too concerned about. And your current employer?
The city of Homestead.
And your length of service with the city of Homestead?
19 years. I was hired in September of 2003 as a reserve police officer. Full-time October of 2004.
And have you worked for any other law enforcement agency?
The city of South Miami Police Department.
Okay. And just to clarify... I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted to say not as a police officer. It was a police explorer, community service aide, and dispatcher.
Okay. And just for clarification, when you say that the city of Homestead is your employer, you mean Homestead Police Department specifically. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you describe your duties, past and present, just roughly a general breakdown?
Uniform patrol for many years. What did you want to know? I'm sorry.
Just your rough duties, past and present.
Uniform patrol division, mainly in. Then I was reassigned to the body camera unit back in 2001 of October, I think. And then I was reassigned or assigned as a detective in that unit back in August of 2022.
Okay. You're being very forthright. I appreciate it. So you're answering some of my questions before I get to them, but that is just make this go quicker. And how did you get into the body camera unit, sir?
I had to put in for it.
Okay. And have you received any training specific to being in the body camera unit?
The only thing, it's mostly on-the-job training, but we did have to attend the Florida Sunshine Law for law enforcement.
Okay. Are you familiar with an incident that occurred in January 2022 where HPD officers were canvassing a neighborhood and interacting with a citizen, and during that interaction an officer told a citizen to shut up when asked for their name and badge number?
Yes.
Did you review the body cameras for this incident?
For the public records request, yes.
And you were just prompted to review them due to the submission of a public records request?
Yes, sir.
Do you ever review body cameras when there's no records request?
Rarely, no. I'm going to say no.
Okay. And what is the standard protocol for reviewing body cameras to be released as public records?
When we receive the public records request or a request for the body-worn cameras, we then collect all of the videos that are associated with that case number or that request. We compile them up, put them into a case, and then we begin working each video.
Okay. And how do you review the body cameras?
I'm not sure what you're asking. What do you mean, on the screen?
I'm assuming it's probably on a computer. Is there a special software?
Yeah, it's through the axonsevidence.com. It's on a computer.
Okay. And could you state roughly how long it takes to retrieve and review a video? For example, how long would it take to retrieve and review a normal 1-minute body camera video? And this is assuming no redactions.
Right. I mean, it depends. It depends on, I guess, environmental conditions, how fast I'm able to stream the video. Generally, it would take about, I mean, as soon as I find the video, click on it, press play, watch the video, and probably just a little over the duration of the actual time of the video.
So just slightly longer than the length of the video to
Correct.
review. And then I guess the retrieval to go find it is a little bit additional time.
Correct. Sometimes it takes longer. I know we just started the body camera unit back in 2001. I guess you get growing pains with it. So sometimes officers are the officers themselves are responsible for IDing, tagging their own videos. So let's say an officer tags it with an event number, not knowing that it was actually a case number pulled. I would actually have to then go in and actually do some investigation as far as, and that's only if I see them usually on the video, like another video. Then I would actually have to go back to do like a search to where I would have to look at like a date and the time and look through that time frame to actually see if I can find a video within that time frame.
So would it be fair to say that, I guess in the simple ones when they're tagged with the right case number, maybe 15, 20, 30 seconds, in other situations maybe 5, 10 minutes of investigation time, just depending on how much you have to do? Does that sound roughly fair?
Yes.
Okay, and I know this is general, so I wasn't looking for a specific, oh, it took me 5 minutes and 32 seconds or anything like that. I was just trying to get an understanding. And if you need to redact the video, how does that change the time required for processing it?
It depends on the length of the actual redaction itself. Sometimes when if I can give an example, like if you are going to redact someone's face, you have to understand that you have an officer with a camera on their chest and they are moving. Even when they breathe, it moves. And then you're tracking someone's face in the image, so most likely they are moving. And the tracking software, you have to make sure that the box actually stays on point and covering what you're trying to mask.
So there's tracking software that kind of tracks that, but I guess it's not 100% accurate, so you need to do a manual review to make sure that it didn't go off of what you're trying to exclude.
Yes, sir. There is automatic software, but it's not, I guess, automatic, if you want to say. It will start a redaction for you, and then it takes some time for it to actually come back when it's finished its redaction, because it takes a while. I mean, like, again, it could take a lot longer if it's the same redaction and it's a longer video. In my experience, we've had it to where actually it will automatically redact all the faces on the screen, but someone will move and then it'll attach itself to, let's say, a window or a coconut tree, and the person will walk and you can see their face, but the actual masking tool is stuck on something in the background.
And then you would have to go in that case and manually readjust it to make sure the redaction stays where it needs to be.
Correct.
And so I guess with the initial, for the redaction using the tracking software, you just kind of tell it to do that and you walk away for a little bit while the computer does whatever the computer does?
No, as far as when I set and that's if I use a redaction tool. Sometimes if the video is short, I don't need to use the automatic redaction tool. I can do it manually.
Okay.
As soon as I'm done with one video, I can go back and then I can start the next video while it works.
And when you're reviewing video, are you the one that makes the decision on whether the video gets redacted or not?
For the most part, there's a I guess, a criteria that we follow as far as what's in the law, as far as what should be redacted.
No, I understand. Like, you can't show inside somebody's house or inside a medical facility. You know, certain things with minors.
Correct.
I get that. In the videos related to this incident, were you the one that made the decision for which redactions to do, or did someone else make those decisions?
I believe it was myself.
Okay. I would like to show you, I'm going to share my screen just a second. Sylvia, this is going to be Exhibit 1. It's the only exhibit I have. And let me see if I can get this to work right. I'm not the best technology guy, so stay with me here for just a second. Can you see that, Officer Szendrey?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is the, I guess, detailed breakdown that I received on this public records request.
Okay.
So, like, for instance, if we look at video number 1, it shows the video length of 4 minutes and 36 seconds. It shows there's no redactions, and it shows an initial review time of 1/4 of an hour and a final review time of 1/4 of an hour with an estimated total time of 1/2 an hour and a charge for 1/2 an hour. Could you explain to me how those times are calculated?
Okay. When these were pre-established when I was assigned to the unit, from my understanding, is anything that is below 15 minutes is rounded up to the first 15 minutes. So you would have had my 15 minutes as far as checking out that video. And then there's a final review, which is all public records requests are finally reviewed by our immediate supervisor in the unit. So then he would take the time to watch the same video to make sure that the work is compliant.
Thank you for that. That's one of my questions. I was trying to figure out the initial review time from the final review time. So is it fair to say that the initial review time is you reviewing it and the final review time is your supervisor reviewing the work that's been done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And does it require 2 people to review, or is that just the city's policy?
That's our policy.
And how was your time spent reviewing and or redacting the records?
I don't know.
Let me try to clarify this a little bit. What I'm trying to get at is, when you're reviewing and redacting the records, are you performing any other functions? Are you taking phone calls? Are you responding to emails?
No.
No.
I'm watching the screen.
Are there any records which would show the actual amount of time spent in these reviews?
Objection to form.
You can answer the question, sir, if you understand it.
Can you repeat it?
Are there any records or documents that show the actual amount of time spent in reviewing these videos?
Just what you're showing me, the pre-estimate, the fee estimate.
So you haven't kept track of the amount of time that you spent reviewing the video, is that correct?
No.
Okay. So I want to scroll down and look at a couple of videos here real quick. So we have video 5, it's 1 minute and 21 seconds. We have video 6, which is 1 minute and 22 seconds. And we have video 7, which is 1 minute and 20 seconds.
Okay.
And they all show 30 minutes of review time. You would agree that it didn't require 30 minutes of time to review these 1 minute and 20 second videos approximately?
Objection to form.
Repeat that question one more time.
Would you agree, like, so for record or video 5, would you agree it didn't take 30 minutes of time to review a 1 minute and 21 second video?
I mean, I review it for 15 minutes. Remember, the final is actually done by somebody else.
Did it take you 15 minutes of time to review the 1 minute and 21 second video?
No.
Objection to form.
Let me go to a couple more here. So here we got video number 12, and the video is 12 seconds long. It didn't take you 15 minutes to review it, did it?
No, sir.
Okay. And I want to show you, some of these videos have redactions. I'll scroll through the different ones so you can see. So video 8 here, we can see shows 2 redactions a time. Video 13 shows one redaction. Video 14 shows one redaction. Video 18 shows one redaction. And video 2 shows 2 redactions. Interestingly, when I was going through this, every redaction requires 15 minutes of time. Is that something that's automatically generated by the computer and not the actual time spent? Is that correct?
I believe the policy we follow, the procedure is every redaction is an additional 15 minutes.
Regardless of the actual time it took. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Objection to form.
And did you speak to anyone else about this request when you were processing it?
Objection to form.
As far as what?
About whether we were going to redact it or withhold the records, or just how to process the records, or anything special about this request from anybody?
I mean, I have to notify my supervisor.
Okay, but is he, other than his final review, is he involved in the other work that you're doing while you're deciding what to redact and what to review and whatnot?
I mean, he's involved if there's something that needs to be, like, he finds something that I need to fix, we'll discuss it.
Okay. Well, Officer Szendrey, I really appreciate your time today. I have no further questions, and I'd like to thank you for your service to our community, and God bless and Godspeed, good sir.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it, and have a great day, sir.
You as well.